channel of your praise. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Castorena, and this is Visions of Inspiration. I've got some people here that they're pretty awesome. They've got a big heart, and they really want to help the kids. And guess what? We need all the people we can get to help the kids, because there's a lot of kids out there don't have a home. They're out in the streets, out in motels, and we've got some people here that are going to make a difference in this world. I'd like to introduce Carolyn Kaufman and Lisa Oneil. What a pleasure. How are you guys?
Great. Wonderful. Thank
Good.
you for having us today.
Carolyn, it's so awesome to have you back. Thank you for coming back on my show.
Thank you so much for having me back.
You're welcome. Share a little bit about what you do and how is your life changing because of what you're doing, and then we'll go to Lisa and see what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I'm the founder of the Children of Today, and it's working with children, just helping them, empowering them to find their own inner wisdom and to live their life to their fullest potential. And it's helped me a lot, because when I look back at my childhood, I had a lot of challenges and was very insecure, and I want to help children not have to go through that. It took me all the way through these years to find that in myself. You know, now in my 30s, just starting to feel more confident in myself and who I am. And I would like my children and the children I work with and throughout the planet to have that from the beginning, to know who they are and to have the courage to just go for whatever they want, go for their dreams.
Wow. Now, how do you know this is your purpose in life?
Well, you know, it's from one step, you know, leads to another, and every time I turn around, I'm guided back to children. I have 4 of my own, which, as you know, the last time I was here, I was pregnant.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. So they're my teachers, and literally all the work I've done in the past, you know, from life coach to working in alternative medicine and all over the place. I work at the school. I'm actually part of the PTA.
Oh, wow.
It always guides me back to children. There's always parents and children who come to me, and I feel that calling, that warmth in my heart and in my center, and I feel so passionate about wanting to make changes and help them find, you know, themselves and create those changes in the schools and society and the families. And so it kind of just, it's always there.
And it's so needed. Oh, thank you. Okay, Lisa, share a little bit about what you do and why are you doing it?
Well, right now I'm helping facilitate some camps for the Free to Be Me Empowerment Journeys. And we met, actually, I'm the director of a motel outreach program.
Which is?
We're with a nonprofit, Serenity Village. And in Anaheim, there's about 78% are there motels. And there's children that live in the motels, and 78% of those are single moms. And what happens is they're paying week to week or month to month, and they don't have deposits, and the rents in the motels are just high enough so that they can't get out, so they end up very, very stuck.
Wow.
And what this does to the children is the children are moving constantly, and they're in transition and stuff. So we provide mentors for the children to show them a different path. Unfortunately, there are always many more children than there are people willing to commit the time to mentor. So I direct the motel outreach. So even if we had children that we never found a mentor for, we've given them a chance to get empowered, build some self-esteem, find out their full talents and their potential.
Why are you doing this, Lisa?
I'm getting it now. A couple years ago, I have about 21 years worth of food and beverage experience, and I was just volunteering as a mentor, giving my event planning skills. I was suddenly transitioned where I was fired from my job and ended up in school with careers for children.
Wow.
So I was just completely knocked in to be with children. So, but I've always known that was when somebody's asked, what are you meant to do? I've always known that I was meant to build self-esteem in children.
You know, there was something that I read in a book, and it said the greatest tragedy in life is not death, it's not having a purpose. You know, people will go through the rest of their life not ever knowing what they were supposed to do here on earth, their purpose. You know, you two have a purpose, and it's an awesome purpose. And you know, I used to work with kids, youth at risk kids, also juvenile hall, and my heart just goes out for those kids. And you guys can go beyond that. Instead of going up the stairs, you guys can go take them up the elevator, right? Okay, now what do I mean by that, Carolyn?
Well, you know, I was laughing just telling a story recently about my son as I tell him, you know what, if you can get this now, you know, again, I've spent my whole life working to figure this out, but if they can get these things now, they can just soar the rest of their life. They can create the dreams, you know, that they want, you know, have the life literally that they want. And that's what myself and Lisa, I'm sure many of us, that's what we're, you know, hoping to do is from our challenges is help inspire them to make life easy, make it fun. Because that's one thing that I've come to learn is if we're not having fun, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, and so in the camps, we do camps with children, and it's so much fun because we're having fun and inspiring them and empowering them at the same time, and we're all learning. It doesn't stop with the children. We learn so much from them, and I believe that's kind of what they're doing is they're here teaching us to listen to them, to show the ways of the future.
How many kids are you talking about that you worked with at camp? And what does the camp consist of? And what is it about?
Well, the camp is called Free to Be Me, Journeys of Empowerment. And there's many different experiences. It goes from family camps to, you know, the one we recently did was for toddlers to teens. And this one was a smaller one. We had about 23 children. And they have different stations that they get to go and explore. And they come in and we have a circle time where we introduce everyone, but then they get to spend the rest of the time going to each of the stations and going as deep as they want. And there are stations like Sensory Me, which is all about the senses. So we go into everything from energy work to, you know, what you hear, what you the sounds. We have a whole bunch of instruments. And like this last camp, we had this one child who was amazing, played the cymbals very loudly the whole entire time. Yet it was so empowering for him because he doesn't get to usually do that, and he's usually reprimanded, and he didn't get that. And at the same time, we have boundaries, but we teach them in a very healthy way and in a loving way. And we have Discovery Me. They get to discover all kinds of things like connections with Mother Earth and animals and themselves with Mother Earth and crystals, and it goes on and on, eventually introducing recycling and, you know, things to help the earth. And we even have an exercise where they put what handprint they will leave on Mother Earth. And there's Art Station, and which is Creatively Me. There's Time for Me. We encourage them to take time for themselves. It goes on, but we have creative conflict resolution. There's so much. I can go on and on, but I'll try to keep it short here.
Lisa, how did you find her?
Well,
said?
it was really funny. We were meant to meet about a year ago because
How do you know that?
Well, literally. Actually, when I took over the director of Motel Outreach for Serenity Village.
So you're now the director?
No, I'm the director of the Motel Outreach program, and I took this over about 2 years ago. And when we started, what do you want to do for the children? I'm like, I want to get them to these self-esteem camps to build confidence and stuff. So I was out trying on camps, and Christine's like, well, here, I've got a card from this lady I met at this organization. I'm like, great, and I take the card. So we end up at a common party together. And
a year later,
getting interviewed. Separate interviews, and she hears half of my interview, and she's like, I want to talk to her. And I step away, and I go do my own stuff, and about halfway through her interview, I hear her talking. I'm like, I want to talk to her. And then as we started talking, it was like she's had one piece of the puzzle, I had the other piece, and
wow.
So it just was kind of a match almost made in heaven, I have to say.
And perfect timing.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, it's interesting the way things happen, because I had someone that I had booked a month and a half ago, and something came up. She wasn't able to do it. That was yesterday. That's why I ended up calling you, and she said, well, can I bring Lisa, and da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, go ahead. And then we've got your other friend.
Yes, which we just met her as well.
Yeah, that's going to be on the show, too, on the other show we're going to be having. So, you know, things happen because they're supposed to happen. And I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that whatever's meant to be is going to happen, and that's
Definitely.
a good thing.
Yeah, it's all in the plan.
Yeah. So, what are your future plans for for the children of tomorrow or today
Well,
or yesterday?
all of it, all of the above. We're very excited. You know, we're connecting with Serenity Village, and we're going to start doing camps for these children in the motels, and we even have some future hopeful trips with dolphins, and to bring that in, because such amazing experiences. We want to bring a lot of amazing experiences to these children to help change their lives, to help them realize that they have the power to create what they want. And so by bringing these unique experiences into them, I believe we can do that and help show them a different way.
Well, I mean, we're talking about kids that don't have much money, kids that maybe never gone out to dinner in a nice place together, and you're talking about taking them to go see the dolphins?
Well, and it's
whoa,
it's amazing though with the children, because a lot of people think that they have to really go all out to be a mentor. And when I had my teen that I was mentoring, one day I didn't have any money, so I felt really bad. And we went to the grocery store to go buy stuff for hamburgers, which was what I considered a low-end meal. But the way I was shopping, she could pick out whatever she wanted. My boyfriend ends up barbecuing the hamburgers, and she's sitting down, she's like, this is really nice. I've never had like a nice family meal like this. I'm like, I was staggered, because that wasn't because I grew up, you sit down at dinner, you have a nice meal, with a big portion of meat and salad, the traditional meal. That I was really surprised. So it's really enlightening to really learn that gratitude.
Yeah, it must be.
And it helps just them knowing that just having someone to listen to them, I think is what you're saying, is a big part of it too, and being there for them regardless of what we're doing.
And that's really, I did a survey for my motel outreach about 8 months ago to find out how I was doing with the children, because I directed this program with no clue what they really wanted. And I was like, so how am I doing? And so I interviewed the children. First of all, they were excited because they'd never had an adult that really wanted to give them one-on-one attention and listen. And when they asked for a mentor, basically the general consensus was the person had to be nice, and it had to be somebody that would listen to them. Those were the only two stereotypes.
But you know what?
That needed. Those were the only two qualities.
That's not. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are like that. Be nice, not a whole lot, and listen. Really, really listen to the kids. You don't get that real often, and they know that.
Yeah.
And that's why they like the camp, because they got to experience all this stuff, and there was somebody to listen. And as they were listening to them, we were able to add in a few things to make them think a little bit more, and then listen to the new thought to reaffirm it. So even if they never got a mentor, and the only thing that they ever did with me is go to that camp because they moved on through life or whatever, I know in some way their life would be changed.
Wow.
Because they got to look at it a different way.
Wow.
And if I can add something, you had asked me earlier about what else our future holds. One of the things through our camps, what we're practicing on is creating a template where we can eventually bring into the existing schools to help it change where it caters for the children. And we're learning as we go what that will take to create that. And we're very excited about that too, because it needs to change. I see even my own children in school and what they go through, and I remember my experience. And we're in the time in our world right now where there is so much change around us. You look around 5 years, it was so different, 5 years ago, and today we need to keep up with those changes and not force old things upon them. And we are able to, by experiencing these different stations and playing with them and listening to them, we're finding out what works with who they are now. And just by getting them and having fun, they start to thrive, and they start to reach further inside themselves, and that's also what connects them with their passion and what they're here to do eventually.
Yeah, because right now in school they're really focusing on the No Child Left Behind, and it's testing. So they're focusing on that every children gets to read, write, and do math. And if you're a child with a learning disability, or I don't like to call the children at risk, I call them at promise. Okay, because you can't teach them to do risk. You can't teach them to take risk when you're telling them at risk is a bad thing.
Well, try telling the county that, okay?
Okay, so that's my little soapbox. But you get the children, right now they're focusing on those three things, and there's a major theory out right now for 9 intelligences, that there's 6 more intelligences, including music interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, naturalism, musicality. And we're focusing on some of those other ones that aren't in school. So the child, even if they're getting invalidated in school every day because that's just such a small part of who they are, they have these camps to come in and really get to know who they are. So our boy with the cymbals that we had, he has some musical intelligence. He's never had a chance to play with that. So you get to play with them, or the child that gets to play in the crystals. He's never had a chance to dig and realizes that he does really have a plan with Mother Earth. And sitting in a classroom, not being able to write or read, is because his brain thinks a different way, and we get to address that because he's not a dumb kid. He's just not necessarily smart at that area, but he's incredible in this other area. And that's how you get children to build self-esteem and full potential. They get to know who they are.
Carolyn, how long have you been doing this? Your program, how long have you...
I started my program about 5 years ago, and then I moved it into another program for a couple years and took a little break, and now we're back. So this is our 5th year. And we're really, launching this year. So excited and just, there's I'm at a loss for words even at the moment. Just feeling the joy about going there and being able to help these children. And I don't know. There's so much.
How does that feel inside in your heart, in your growth? Spiritually, emotionally, how does that feel doing what you're doing?
For myself? It feels wonderful. I mean, it helps me every day. It helps me get through whatever challenges I'm having at home just because I feel so much joy when I'm at the camps, when I'm creating for the camps, when I'm thinking about, the children that I've helped or see the light that has gone on or the hugs that they give me or, just seeing since I've been doing it for 5 years, I've gotten to see some of the children that were at our very first camp, and just seeing what's happened to their lives.
Wow.
I mean, it's so amazing, and I feel very humbled to be a part of that and know that I'm helping in some way.
Great. Lisa, your turn.
My turn. How long have I been doing this? Well, Serenity Village, funny enough, has been in existence for about 5-6 years.
Okay.
Funny, so...
I've been doing my show about 5 or 6 years.
Funny how we all came together now.
Yeah, isn't it?
But I have probably been with Serenity Village for about 4 years.
Okay.
Obviously a more active role in the last couple years.
Okay.
But
so how has it helped you spiritually, emotionally growing in your growth? How has that made a difference for you in your life?
Well, it's amazing because you get caught up in your life where it's only about you. And I had met the current director at the time, Christine Delkey, which was one of the founders for Serenity Village, at a fair. And I'm looking at this mentor thing, and she looked at me and she says, "You really should be a mentor. You're needed." And that was a huge answer for me at that time, because I was like, that's what's wrong. That's why I feel so all alone. Nobody needs me. I don't matter to anybody. I do this job, and it doesn't have it's not making a difference in anybody's world.
So you felt like empty?
I felt a little empty, yeah. I'm one of those people that feels like I have to be making a difference at what I do. I can't go to a job and just be there, get a paycheck at the end of the week, and go home. I put all my passion into what I'm working and what I'm producing at. I'm one of those people that do that. So to have something in my life that just to be getting a paycheck at that time that wasn't making a difference in anybody's world was hard. So Serenity Village has changed for me huge, and I've really learned, it's really been a big shift for me after leaving my corporate America and my transition to learn that once you're at service for everybody and you're about other people and you've opened up those channels for giving and receiving, there's no worry. Everything's all taken care of. Yeah. You're in the same, because God always wants to take care of children, and that's why children aren't worried about money or being provided or your dog or your cat or anything like that. They know that it's all going to be there. So when you step into that flow to be at service, you know that you're taken care of.
And something I'd like to add too is in the camps, it keeps me on top of what I say I'm going to do, because if I'm ever out of integrity, the children show me. It comes right in my face, and so I have an opportunity right there to bring it back to balance. Yeah. So it keeps me on my toes constantly, along with my 4 children too.
I understand what you're saying, because that's pretty much where I've been. I work with drug and alcohol right now. I'm a DUI facilitator and a counselor, and I just got promoted to lead counselor for the couple of schools. And what you guys said and how you mentioned it, it's like you're going to be taken care of. Things are just starting to flow now. It doesn't come as, as hard. You're walking more on faith, and you're just more peaceful. It's an awesome feeling.
And as you notice when you're working with people, I'm sure as a DUI counselor you notice this too, they are not used to people telling the truth and being honest.
Oh, really?
So they are, and they don't do it to themselves.
That's what kids do too.
So it's really with the children, if I have a child that's excited and it's the first time, they might call me 20 times in the morning. Are you going to be here? Are you going to be here? Are you going to be here? You mean you're going to be here? What are you going to be here? Like 15 minutes before you said you were going to be here. It's 15 more minutes. And they're cute about that. Yeah. But that's just that reassurance. They've never had anybody keep their word for them before. So at the camp, they're getting to try new experiences. They're getting to do stuff. Having the mentors, having somebody keep their word is huge.
Yeah. And how often do you do this camp?
Well, as often as we're called. We're hoping that it'll be an ongoing thing from here on in.
So when's the next one?
Hopefully next month, April.
Oh.
this month.
Do you have any idea when?
No, not yet. Maybe towards the end, and hopefully some events in May, and then again from there ongoing, but we don't have the next date yet.
Well, you could always tune into my website, and that'll help.
Okay.
Give me a call. That'll help. And there's a lot of stuff you guys are doing. And you're putting something together, the both of you, to what? To work together, to...
Well, I'm really called to help with the camps and the children of today. And Carolyn was really called to have an opportunity within her camps to give back to children. Mm-hmm. So I can facilitate at the camps, which I did at the other camp. And I have a great company that shuttles in the children, which they did for me. They're called Child Shuttle in Anaheim.
Oh.
And that's their job, is to pick up the children and shuttle them in.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got an outlet for her to have some children that really need this camp. Mm-hmm. And I've got some talents to help them for the camp. So.
Whoa.
Like she said, a match made in heaven.
You know what? God does have a way of opening doors, doesn't he?
Yes.
I've had people put my shows on website, and people all over the world are able to see the shows through the Learning Light, and they're able to see the show. It's interesting, huh? Somebody told me that I'm going to go global. Well, I guess that's one of the ways of going global.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so that's really interesting and stuff that's going on. Well, Lisa and Carolyn, you guys sound so excited and happy, and what does your husband say about this?
Well, as long as the kids can be involved, right? He's very happy that I'm following my passion.
Oh.
We go through our things, but he's very excited to see the growth and see my growth with it all, and to see our children be able to be involved is so wonderful.
Wow. And do you have a husband, Lisa?
No, I'm single. I've
husband?
never been married, so he'll come in soon.
Yeah, okay.
Now that I'm back on purpose again and walking in. I think we were talking about that, right? You just have to get grounded and do what you're doing, and the right person will show up.
As long as we don't block them out. Have to be sure.
I'm open.
Yeah.
That's one area I'm opening to receiving, and it's coming together.
Is that? Oh, good. Last minute words of wisdom.
Just be open and listen and be willing to receive what you want. Not even what you need, beyond what you need, but what you want.
Lisa, words of wisdom. Don't copy her.
No, my words of wisdom are don't be afraid to give. Don't be stingy with giving, because whatever you come back comes to you 10,000 multiplied. So If you're experiencing a lack of time, it's a lack of prosperity. It's just a symptom. So give.
Wow.
Give so it comes back.
That's powerful. That's so true. Yeah. Well, Carolyn, I have something for you. And I think I spelled it wrong, so I'm going to have to give you another one. This is for you.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And this one's for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Okay. Well, you know, it's awesome to have you guys on the show and being able to make a difference in this world. And all these kids, my heart just goes out for them. They need so much help. And they just want to be loved and listened to. And know that, you know, there's somebody. Isn't that important? Yeah. So it's something that I think that we need to do, you know, and hopefully I'll have you guys back and see the progress. And maybe have some pictures of your camp and, you know, everything that you've been doing and some of the kids and, you know, what's your comments? How did they like it? You know, stuff like that.
That'd be wonderful.
Maybe we'll bring one of them.
That would be great.
Carlos can play his cymbals for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Well, we just had a couple of people on the show that are making a difference for our kids. Please give us a call. Get on my website, get some information so that we can get something going. And you could be some mentors also and help out and make a difference in the world. We all have a purpose in this world. God bless all of you and God bless our troops. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay.
Make me a channel of your praise. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console.